Evening, everybody. DJ Styles here at Custom Corpses. Okay, so we've got to figure this out. Well, there's nothing really to figure out. I figured out something really big that I've been overlooking, and the profile was driving me crazy with this sculpture. So I fixed the profile, but in doing so, I had to mess up them lips. And let me back up and put it off to the side a little bit. I can't see the comments yet. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about in a second. As you can see, the eye cuts are a lot smaller. Go away. The eye cuts are so much smaller now. Now, I have a still shot of the flashback mask from the scene where it actually gives you a perfect profile. And everything looked great on here, dead on. As soon as I turned it and looked at the profile, I'll show it to you now. This is the correct profile now. Lips are underneath. The upper lips are sticking out a little bit further. Let me see. Am I giving you a good profile? Hold on, let me look at the camera. Yeah, I have to go a little bit further this way. Okay. I think we got it on there. Now I got a lot of work to do here now. But the profile on this picture, on my sculpture, this was dug in really deep and then scooped out. All right. And the chin and this area here was protruding way too far out. So these, I want to say the slants, we'll call them the underlip slants. They were sticking out like way too far. They were literally like this far off that's how far out they were. And it was almost flush with the upper lip. Looked good straight on. But like I said, I live in a 3D world. I can't sculpt in a two-dimensional world. So when I turned it and looked at the profile, I did not like it a little bit. I also realized the chin was sticking out too far this way. And on the actual screen used mask, because of that screenshot that I have, the chin is kind of flat right in here, and it's tucked in behind it. It's doesn't protrude out past this lower lip, it goes behind it. So I have the profile. Now what I had to do to fix this profile is I didn't really do too much to these lips here. I added a bunch of clay up underneath the nose. And that's what gave it a straighter, this pitch here is what needed to be fixed. So I fixed that pitch there, and now I have to smooth out everything. As you can see, everything still looks somewhat good the way it was. I've got the eye cuts where they need to be. I think I'm going to go a little bit. A little bit of a push into that. The shape of the eye cuts are on the money. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Straight on. I dug out a little bit further in this corner here because I needed that slant to look good on this side as well as the other. The other side, it's weird. It's got this little tuck in here. See how it tucks in into that eye corner there? It tucks. That's how that screen use mask is. Now, when you see a profile of it, it's got a nice slant. It's got the right slant. The eye cuts are a lot smaller on this sculpture. You can see the mask, and that's the small mask right there. And those eye cuts are a lot bigger than these eye cuts that are on the actual sculpture. So what's going to happen is when I mold this, the eye cuts are going to be nice and small, and that's what they needed to be. I had to make sure that I didn't overdo it though. So the eye cuts are on the money. I'm working on this region here now, fixing it, smoothing it out. I pretty much have it where I want it. I have to make this lower lip just a tad more bulging. And I got to fix this. I got to bring that slant in just a little bit more on both sides, up underneath the nose, and lower this ridge. Too sharp. It needs to be rounded. I'm also going to work on the neck. Pipe Master, if you're there. Damn, it's hard to really do this and read comments because the computer's behind me now. You know what I got to do? What I need to do is put a monitor up in front of me or over here to the left so I can read your comments. Something over here, I don't care, whatever I got to do. I need a monitor over here where I'm working. I'm going to be working on this. By bringing this out more at the top, it just completely fixed the whole profile. I was like, wow. Pipe Master, if you're on, the reason why I sent you those pictures slanted is because you're not going to really get a good look of the profile at the angles like this, because it's sitting on a cut neck. And this is sitting on you. It's sitting on you like that. That's how that's supposed to look. That's how the mask will sit on your shoulders. This way your shoulders have room underneath this cut here. But I got the slant in the neck already, so I can't give you that profile straight up and down. I want that profile to look straight up and down like that, so you can see how close I am to that profile on that screen used mask. Now this eye cut slant is perfect. We used, Pipe Master and I all day, we were working on sculpting this and looking at the actual sculpture, the Christopher Nelson sculpture. I don't think it was a sculpture. I think it was actually a pulled latex mask because the eye holes are cut out. So I don't think it was actually a clay sculpt. I think it's a latex mask. It was funny. Pipe Master pointed that out. I'm thinking it was a sculpture, and I'm going, wait a minute, he's right. The eye holes were cut out. So I'm like, oh, okay. But this is going to be an extremely, extremely accurate mask. I mean, this is really going to be over the top, perfect. I can't wait to get this done. I've already started working on the hairline. I'm going to close this in. As a matter of fact, I'm working on it right now. My noodles, I'm wearing noodles here. All right, so the old line, I already blew all through this. I'm gonna smooth this out. I'm not gonna be on too long tonight. I was gonna do the neckline and everything, but I've been working on this all day today. I had to do some errands and stuff, so yeah, I was broken up, and I'm even on late tonight. But tomorrow I should have this sculpture completed. but you'll fundamentally, you can see now. And Pipe Master, look at that profile from the nose down on that picture that I sent you, and you'll see that I'm really close. I got the profile now nailed. I just have to smooth out all this in here. I got to smooth out the chin. Even this slant gets cut back here underneath it here more, where before it was literally bulging out all the way to the chin, and the chin was sticking too far out. So when I saw that picture, I'm like, oh my God, how did I not look at that picture in the first place? I had a perfect profile of the, but you know, my my flashback, the original flashback, has everything in the right perspective. But when I changed those lips, that's when I got all screwed up with the profile. And we put these bumps in so you can see them better. But they got to come out some. They were protruding way too far. Now, you still have that deep debit in here. I'm going to dig out a little bit more underneath it here, so you don't lose this effect. That's all he did was actually, yeah, it's just crazy, man. Every time you see something a little different, but the thing that's nice about it, it really brings the mask into perfection. So, this is the old hairline. And the reason why I want to go behind, I want my hairline to go behind the ear, like it is on the screen used mask. Now I'll smooth all that out and texture it and everything. But I'm closing in this line right here, and I'll be putting that line in. You'll see. You'll see. You'll see. You'll see. Pushing that, I warmed up that clay in my hand so it was really soft. Pushing that, I'll have to shape it, texture it, all that fun stuff. Now here's the new hairline. That's the wrong paddle bit. Yeah. There we go. This is a sharp paddle bit right here. Ah, you sucker. Okay, now I'm going to go with the thicker one. Just follow that groove. That's that hairline. That hairline's banging. It's right on the money. I love it. Here's the new hairline here. I already did this side. Notice how it's coming in behind the ear now. Now, in an imperfect world, we're going to make a perfect. This mask is going to be sick. A little clay ball. Sorry, couldn't wear a shirt in here tonight. No way. It's too hot. My house is hot. I don't know why. I know we started turning the air off. But I don't care. I spend most of my time outside anyway when I'm working on this kind of stuff. Come on. I'm going to check your comments in a second. This mask is going to be so accurate. I'm really happy with everything, the way it's turning out. Now, there's also another, by that sculpture, or not, by that mask that was, looks like a clay sculpture, there's also a indentation that's right here underneath this cheek. And I'm going to put that in there as well. Nothing's getting missed. We are going to go completely into a perfect the weird thing is, every time you think you're done, something else reveals itself. It's crazy. Now I'll clean that up once I get this. Retexture it once I get it all done. Taking a little bit of high spot. I'm just barely scratching the surface here. I'm not really putting a lot of pressure on it now. Now that I'm down to where I need it to be, it's flush with the old clay. I can feel it. I can start seeing it pop through here. So I'm right where I need to be with the old clay. So you barely put any pressure on it from that point. But there's a dent here. Is there a dent? Yep, there's a dent. want this perfect. I don't care that I have to do this again. Once I make the latex master copy, I can seal that latex with a spray, and I can put silicone over that latex. There's a secret method to that. You're not supposed to do that to latex. But on the large mask, I'll make the small mold. I won't be able to make a silicone master for a large mask, because every time I do it, I have to retool it back to what I've got here. So there's that problem. But unless I silicone this, too big of a tool. Too big. This is the one. That little thing, having that picture totally revealed to me what was wrong with all this. It really did. I don't want to dig too much out of here. I'll be right back to square one again. It's all scooped out. I don't want this round. I don't want that sharp. A lot of smoothing to do here. That's why I want to do that off camera. Tedious. It's tedious, but it'll get done. It'll look good. Alright, I'm going to read your comments, guys. What do you think so far? Minus this area right now, but overall, we've got the eye cuts. Now, I didn't blend this yet. I gotta, it's, oh man, that looks so nice. Good profile there. That looks really good. It's gonna be very accurate. This mask is gonna be very, very accurate. Oh yeah. I'm gonna let this one shrink up a little more too, Pipe Master. So we don't have to worry about that. I have that area there. This side has to come down some. Now the neck is, the mask is leaning to the right because the neck is not perfectly squared up yet. It comes out of that clay mold with not a perfect neckline. You don't get that. Not out of the silicone. You'll never get that out of silicone. So that's already smoothing out pretty nice now. I'm just trying to get this chin a little bit more accurate. I have to dig in just a little bit more here. tell you, man. So this is the difficult part is no matter how good somebody's eyes are, including my own, when you start sculpting, there's a difference between working with 3D versus 2D. When you're working on, right here, I'm working in 3-dimensional, so it's you gotta. I'm looking at everything like a 3D camera. Like when you scan for 3D printing, it takes like if it was going to take a headshot of this, you would have to scan it and move it every fraction of an inch, and every time it takes a picture, picture, and that's what allows that 3D printer to actually do the 3D print. If it couldn't take all those angled pictures from every angle, you wouldn't have a very good 3D print at all. Wouldn't be very accurate. I'm barely putting any pressure on this. I'm just taking out the high spots, all the scrape lines. You know, you'll get to the point where you're really good at measuring your. See, when I press, there's barely any. You know, it's about how much pressure. I don't really put a lot of pressure on the knife itself. I wanted to grab all the high spots. All right, let me read your comments. Because I don't think I'm going to do too much more on this tonight. All right, now see how close I get to this, and look how narrow that face gets. This is one of the things that drives me nuts about pictures. The closer I get, the more those eyes get closer together. Further away I go. Wow, magically delicious. Now, when I'm back this far, I'm about 6 feet, maybe a little less, not much. And then I can zoom in, and it gives you the true dimensions of what the face really looks like. So, and the lighting isn't too great. I got it out in front of the mask on both sides. And I'm trying to reveal, like I did a lot of work on the cheek lines, did more work to the nose. I narrowed the nose just a touch. Completely did the eye cuts, they're done. Actually redid that eyebrow on this side. So, I mean, right now it looks like shit because it's not smoothed out here, but it'll get better once I get it smooth. Yeah, that's gonna have to, I was carving out here to match this side. Not so much the surface going across, but the depth in the chin itself. So now what I have to do is put some clay back into here and level it off just a little bit higher over on this side. The problem is I don't want this much gap between the lower lip and the top of that chin right there. This area here has to be a little shorter. And that's an easy fix. As a matter of fact, I have to drop the lip line down just a little bit lower, so that's going to give us that extra. Yeah, I had to redo these lips completely when I discovered that profile being so screwed up. But this is going to look amazing when I'm done. It's pretty much in place. The lips are in place. I just have to put it. I had to put it back the way it was. So, all right, now let me read the comments because I have to actually touch the screen. Yo, Pipe Master, I knew you'd make it on. See, I I was the one that said I went to the store. I thought you said you had to go food shopping. That was weird. And then you said, no, that was your comment. I'm like, oh, really? I'm like, okay. Having one of them kind of days, I guess. Let me zoom out so you can at least look at it at a distance. You guys are all getting one. Don't worry about it. You guys are all getting the new version because I'm going to get this done. I think I'm going to have this done tomorrow. I think it'll be finished tomorrow and ready to go, ready to be molded. I'm kind of burnt out. I've been working on this all day long. Pipe Master can tell you we've been chatting back and forth, sometimes barking back and forth, but never take it seriously with me, Pipe Master. Please don't ever get offended, and don't get offended when I critique my own thoughts on what I'm looking at. That's just going to happen because I'm actually dealing with the sculpture itself. I'm not looking at it in 2 dimensions. So it's like today, perfect example. I asked Pipe Master if he could send me a perfect profile of the actual screen mask, the screen used mask, either Christopher Nelson clay or, some kind of perfect profile. And I remembered I had one and I'm like, damn, I don't feel like digging it out. I'll see if he has it. So I guess he didn't have it, but I sent him that profile. I got a still shot of that doesn't have the effects on it. So I'll have to send it to you. So anyway, like I said, it looked perfect when you looked at it dead on last night, but as soon as I turned it sideways, I knew something wasn't right. Didn't look right. So I added too much lip, added too much I'm going to call this, what do we call this? The underlip, what can we call that? The slants. We'll call them the slants. Anytime I start saying the slants, it's underneath the lower lip. Those slants looked good last night. Man, it looked good dead on. But as soon as I turned it profile, it was like, what the hell? No, this can't stay like this. No way. So anyway. Like I said, something that looks perfect dead on doesn't mean it's going to be perfect on any other view. And Nick Mulpagano can protest to that with his 13 mask. It's really tough to get that mask to get the angles right. Really is. But I think now the eye cuts are a lot smaller, guys. I mean, this is the shrunken. This is the small version of the the flashback, the one I made. All right. Take a look at the difference in the eye size, and that's the small. That's not even. That's when this shrinks up. This eye cuts are going to be perfect. They'll be nice and small, and you'll be able to see out of the mask. And nobody's going to be able to see your eyes. That's going to be what's nice about this sculpture. But you can already see how big those eyes are compared to these, right next to each other. So, okay, now let me back to reading comments. Takeoff vision, you know what I started doing? I went right to that, what I first thought was a clay sculpt, but it was a three-headed point of view of the latex pull that was blank, but the eye holes were cut out. And me and Pipe Master got talking, and we were like, you know what? Let's just go off of this. I can't go off of any other pictures. Oh, I had to go off of that to get the profile, but I wanted to go off of those pictures because that was the actual screen used hero mask that we wanted to use. I want to make sure it's screen accurate. I don't want it to look like somebody else's mask. Nags. I don't want to copy Nags. I was trying to get a fundamental understanding of what I was missing by looking at Nags' mask. but I still wanted to really make it look like a Christopher Nelson sculpture. That's the goal. It's got to look like the movie Mask. I don't want it to look like anybody else's rendition of it. And it's really tough. Now, also, what I also want to do is I'm going to have these cards made up, all right? And inside the card, anytime somebody buys a mask, all you guys that help me out, there's going to be a shout out to all of you guys for collaborating with me in making this perfect version. And you guys I consider all collectors, and that's what we're going to actually state. I'm going to make sure everybody gets their YouTube name on there. I'm not going to give the real name. I'm going to say Pipe Master, Takeoff Vision. All you guys are going to get a mention, along with my family, like my brother supporting, you know, the stuff that I do, and he actually pumps it out on his, he shows my pictures on his Facebook and stuff, of what I'm doing. You know, just anybody that support my wife, you know, everybody's going to get a little shout out that supports this. If it wasn't for my wife, you know, during the summer months, I don't work at all, actually. And then I was able to dedicate the time that I needed to get into this. And if it wasn't for the wife, guess what? Finances, man, no way. I'd have never been able to afford to do this. So hats off to the wife. Anyway, yeah, I got a great wife. I really do. Got a great life too. But you know, it's just, but winter months kick back in, and then I go back to work. So I'm really trying to push to get this done in time for Halloween for people to order and really get this mask. It's going to be a really nice mask. It really is. You know, it's not set in gray. It's not set in stone yet. I think at the top of the nose, these little things have to be a little bit more into the tip of the nose, just a slight bit, especially this side, this side over here. That side has to come in just a touch more. But you know, I see things as I'm going, and I kind of fix it. But I always have to look I have to look at everything in 3 dimensions, not just 2. So it makes it a little bit tougher. Okay, back to screen. Now let me go back up because I didn't get to read all these comments. Horror counselor, yes, man. Me and you got to talk tonight. I got to get some stuff done. I'm also gonna the art department. There's you that are doing the cards. You're getting a mention on my card for the art. I'm gonna call you know artist concept of the card. Also the art. I got my buddy Angelo who's going to make the cards. So he's going to make the cards for me. And, oh, he wanted me to, I have to reach out to you when I get that information. But the images that you gave me, either I downloaded them and they downloaded too small, or they're just too small. When I send them to him, they're too small. So I don't know how many, I think he said 600 by 600. But I want to give you that right number because he's going to need to know how big those. He needs it in JPEG too, JPEG image. They can't be anything else. But we need them small. We need them bigger. Well, actually, wait a minute. Yeah, we need the images bigger. So just be aware that I'm going to be letting you know as soon as I get everything set up with that. Okay, good evening, Joe Reese. How we doing, buddy? Haven't seen you in a while on here. But this is going to be the retooled flashback. The eyes are smaller. There's a lot more has been done. The lips are completely revamped. Chin line's a little better. Underneath the chin is really nice. It's going to even be better when I'm done. Shout out to Joe Reese, Takeoff Vision, you. Takeoff vision, those eyes and brow looking damn good. Yes, the brow, everything's right on the money now. Pipe Master Yo, Joe Reese looks good. Pipe Master Yo, I think this is it, man. I do too. I think this is it. I really do. I think we got this nailed. Pipe Master Takeoff. Me and John have been on it all day, going back and forth. Yes, we have. Definitely, yes, we have, Pipe Master. And sometimes I get short, and it's not because of you. It's more because I get frustrated when I'm trying to get, like, it's not so much when I'm trying to get it perfect, like, you know, front on view, but when I turn it to the side and I see something that's not right, then it's like, shit, you know, now how am I going to get the front to look good and the side to look good? And that's just a matter of figuring out, moving clay, little crumbs of clay here and there. I think we both agree that the profile, this shot, when you look at this shot right here, let me get this out in front so we can see less shadow. This shot right there is so dead on to the actual screen mask. I know that the eye cut slant is perfect on both sides. I've already done it to the other side. The eye cut slant is perfect. And the thing is, when you're dead on the screen used mask, there's this little tuck at the corner. It goes out, flares out, and then tucks back in, right into this corner. And when you're looking at it dead on, you're like, holy shit, that's the secret. So I have learned the secret to this mask. My biggest thing is, even with that sculpture there, I just had the eye cuts too big. You know, I just way too big. But even the slant's different. Look at that, look at this. Look at that slant there. I mean, it don't look bad, but it ain't that. It's nowhere near that. There you go. You tell me. There's a huge difference in this retool. I'm not naming this retool or anything. We're just going to stick with flashback. I'm not going to call it a retool or go into all that crazy nonsense. I'm just staying with the FB Custom Corpses FB78. You're just getting the up because I sold one mask, and the guy loves it. He's absolutely ecstatic over his mask. He loves it. And this will be the updated version of it. And I am going to get rid of those molds right away. I don't have room for molds. Everybody's like, oh, well, don't get rid of the mold. Don't get rid of the mold. No, I'm sorry. I don't want another artist to get a hold of it. So I smashed those molds to pieces. And I'll make new molds with this sculpture. There'll be two molds, one to make the large mask and one to make the small mask. See, I have two molds right here. The one in the back's the large mask, the 26-inch mask, and the one in the front's the 24.5-inch. Now, I'm trying to shrink this down to 24-inch. That's where I really want it to be. I don't know if it'll go that far. I hope it does. I pray it does. Okay, let me go back up. Yo, 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 takeoff vision, takeoff vision. The last one I read was, no, was Pipe Master. Yes, and John, I've been on it all day long. Okay, looks great. Phantom Horror Studio. Hey, thank you, buddy. This is the money shot right here. There's a still shot that I've been going off of that's absolutely right on the money. And anyway, damn it, looks great. Takeoff vision pipe, I think it beats the NAG version 2 now. Ooh, that's saying a lot. Asylum Beyond the Dead. I call first dibs on the new flashback mask. Takeoff vision. Yo, Asylum, new profile pic again. Takeoff vision. Did the layer pics work for you, John, for the lips? It did work, but it didn't work because I didn't account for the profile. Did the layer? Okay. Joe Reese, I totally get it, man. Summer season. Oh, happy Labor Day, everybody. Hopefully you didn't work at all today and you relaxed with your family. All right, let me zoom out. Let me zoom out. That shaking shit drives me nuts. This has steady in it, but it doesn't work when your camera is zoomed in. So, I want to wish everybody a happy Labor Day and hope nobody worked hard today. Me, this isn't work to me. This is fun. This is my relaxation. So, guess what? I don't mind doing this. This is totally fun to me. And me and Pipe Master went back and forth on this all day, and then we finally said, "Oh, you know what? Enough's enough. I'm gonna stop using all other pictures. We're gonna go with just those three-headed pictures that we were using." And that's what I'm going off of, and that's actually the screen mask. It's actually a latex mask, but it didn't have any paint on it, no hair on it, no nothing, and the eye holes were cut out. Everything was lined, and when you look at this picture right here, this angle, these eye cuts are right on the friggin' money. I mean, on the money. Can't get it any better than that. I was like blown away when I finally did this, and then I went, okay, let me take a look at that side view. Joe Reese, no good, man. I hope you made a lot of money then. Triple time. Triple time. Guys, I'm still losing weight again. I'm back to losing a ton of weight. I lost another 15 pounds over the last week and a half. Whew. Melting off. I leveled off for literally almost 3 months, where I didn't think I was losing anything, but I was losing inches and didn't realize it. The top left cheek? What are you talking about? The bow. Now, I mean, if you've seen the pictures that I'm going off of, that is absolutely perfect. That's exactly what we want. I have to, you know what? Let me do a still shot. How can I do this? I can do it on my computer. Yes. Let me find it. Oh, this is that shot right there, the profile that nobody really has. I used effects on it, but that's the profile. Take a snapshot of that, guys. And I want to show you. Yeah, well, I'm going to show you pics of what I've been using. And you see the lip and the chin and from the nose down. That's what I'm looking at. That's what I got to correct on that. That was so way off. It was unreal. Anyway, I have still shots of it that I'll share. But first of all, let me find those pictures so you guys know exactly what I've been using. Let me find it. Where are you at? Here they are. Now, this is what I'm using right here. Nothing else, and I'm not listening to anybody else. Again, I have got, if you look at this picture right here, and look at the slant in that eye cut, this is what we decided, me and Pipe Master today. We are going to go with just this right here, just this mask. Now, if you guys want, still shot this real quick, and then I'm going to take you over to the mask and I'll show you what I'm talking about on how close we have it. even this cheek line, I brought this cheek line up and put that straight across slant right in here, and also carved out underneath the here a little bit. That's there now. This side of the cheek is higher than the other side. You can see that right here. It's higher than the other side. Very V-shaped though. I can see that cheek line's very V-shaped. I may change that. I don't know. We'll see. A little too rounded on mine, so we'll see. Okay, so hopefully you still shotted. I'm trying to give you the same look. Look at that slant. Look at that eye cut. It is on the money. Those eye cuts are on the money. Yeah, but it's also round. It's not. All right. Look at the top of the shadow. You got to understand that mask light is under different lighting. I have these lights right here. See that light? It's right there. It's splashing right down on top of that face, which is casting a shadow. But if you look at that line, you can see that this is a V cut. It's V and it goes up, but it's smoothed out and around. You can't just put a carved line in there. It's not what it looks like. You don't do that. Now, that has to be smooth and round. That is, if you look at the top of the shadow, not underneath. I'm not talking about underneath. I'm talking the top of the shadow. You can see that it's V. It's a V cut. The top of the shadow. It's V cut. What's underneath is just shadowing being casted from the light, hitting right down on it. Now I'll go dead on so you have an idea. Now see, that sucks because this light's like right there. Let me see if I can put the light more down on top of it. To give you the Okay. See what I'm saying? Oh, I can't wait to get this done. This is going to be really nice. Now, believe it or not, that from what I'm looking at, what I'm showing you here, let me see if I can. Yeah, you can see I brought this cheek line up higher. It's up higher and it goes across. And this is dipping down a little further. The top of that shadow is still there because I got these lights close together right down. But this is a V cut at the top of the shadow. You don't cut and then carve in a check mark into the cheek. That's not how that mask was done. And that's not how you do it. That's not how you do it. When the check mark goes back up into the cheek, it's actually dented. It looks like more of a dent than it is a. And that's your natural. That's how our faces are. So yeah, lighting in here is really brutal. You know, I had to really do a lot to get the lighting to hit this mask just right to show it off. I've got to figure out better lighting in here when I go to do, shots for the mask once I have it all finished and wrapped up. Once I'm all done. The reason why the head's leaning a little bit to the right because the neck isn't done yet. I still have to finish the neck up. I have to level it out. Level the neck. It's going to be nice, man. It's going to be a really, really good mask. It'll be very, very accurate to the screen used. I can't wait. If you want to look at those eye cuts a little closer, you can see the shapes are perfect. If you look at the screen used, right? I'm trying to steady my hand. Right here, right in the corner of the eye cut, the bottom part, it bumps up a little bit and then goes out into that little, and that's how it is on the screen used mask. I got every little detail on the eye cuts perfect. I know it's shaking like hell because I'm zoomed in. I'm trying to hold it steady. But there it is, man. Those eyes are wicked. Now, the eyebrows are in perfect position by doing what I did with those upper eye cuts. I brought those upper eye cuts down a little bit. See how, like on that, the reason why the eyebrows are so close to the eye cut is because the eye cut was too high. On this, I'm not sure what he means. Got to remember that my head sculpt is a little bit wider than the that mask that you just sent me a picture of, Felix. Look at the two differences. Look at the head width. Bringing that cheek line straight, like down that far, and it's only a little bit, but down enough, just enough to where it wouldn't look right on this face. Wouldn't look right on this sculpture. Believe me, I already tried it. As a matter of fact, the old positioning, Pipe Master's still on. The old positioning of that check mark cheek and the cheek lines, we were talking about it. The old line was actually perfect, like that mask, but it didn't look right on this face. So we widened those check mark cheeks. We widened the line coming down from the nose to the bottom of the check mark. We widened it out a little bit instead of going straight down. I shortened the check mark too. The check mark used to come down a little further. Now it's shorter. No, I seen it. Yeah, I saw it. I saw how you got a little bit steeper. But on this sculpture, it doesn't work because my sculpture's head is wider. And if I had squeezed, hold on. I was trying to squeeze the head together, tighter. But as I was doing it, the ears were completely disappearing. You can barely see them now from the profile, like straight on shot. And if I had squeezed that head any further, I squeezed the neck. The neck is now a lot more narrow. I squeezed the, and here's how I did it. This is a hollow casting, guys. This is hollow. This is clay, and it's hollow, and it's pretty thick. I got it pretty thick inside this sculpture because I knew I was going to do a lot of retooling on it, so I needed that clay extra thick. So I took my heat gun, which is sitting right there, and I heated up the inside of this, and then I was able to squeeze everything to bring it in. I was able to squeeze the mask into high quality. What's up, Bread? Hold on, let me read you here. You're a new guy, aren't you? High quality Bread. First time. I wish I can give you a fist pump. Fist pump. Yeah. I don't know how to use that little emoji, that little fist pump thing. But if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. Anyway, I'm gonna make a Chucky head for my prop. I think you said probe, but I think it says you meant to say prop. How am I gonna make my mold? Ooh, good question. Are you doing the head? Are you talking about just the head? Yeah, that's, I figured you out. That's no problem. I don't correct anybody. I just read it out loud. That's why it sounded like I was correcting you. You're making hands and head. Well, honestly, you have to sculpt it. You're going to have to sculpt it to make a, and then what I would do is make a silicone master over top of your clay. Get the Monster clay. It's a wax-based clay, and it's made by Monster Makers. Order that clay, get about 20 pounds of it, all right? And you should be able to make a life-size Chucky head. And you want to sculpt it. I hope you can sculpt. You definitely want to sculpt that head. The other thing is you silicone that like this here's the sculpture's almost done. I would silicone this, and behind that sculpture is a silicone master. Actually, here's one right here, and it has a hard shell on it. But that's a silicone master right there. All right. So you silicone that master, and then you can pour clay heads into it that are hollow. All right, just like this is. This is a hollow clay pool from that silicone master behind it. That's a silicone. That's the silicone head it came from right there. Oh, wait a minute. No, it came from this one behind me. So it's a hollow casting, and then you can pull the clay out very easily out of the stone. And you have a seamless head. You don't have a seam. Now, are you making the head out of plastic, or are you going to make it out of latex? Are you making a mask out of your Chucky doll, or are you going to make a plastic head? If it's a plastic head, then you have to do silicone over your clay sculpture, right? Like this. And then you can pour plastic inside that silicone resin. Well, you can do it out of now I'll show you one up here. This like the master copy of the flashback, the original. That's plastic. That's a plastic, and that came out of that mold. All right, out of silicone. That's mold. All right, and then what I did was I made a plastic master copy. This way, if I ever need to make another silicone mold, I just put the silicone right over the plastic. And there you go. Boom, I've got a master copy that'll last forever. Always make sure you do a master copy. You have to do a master copy. But if you're going to do latex, I'm doing the extra mile because I hate doing two-part molds. I really suck at two-part molds. So, when I'm saying two-part molds, I'm talking about plaster molds. I suck at them, so I don't even like doing them. So I make one piece. You can't, when you're doing silicone, you can't put latex in silicone. It's like oil and vinegar. It don't work. What happens is the latex won't cure. It'll mess up this. It'll mess up the latex. Putting that latex inside of a silicone mold. The silicone is so you can make a hollow clay head, and then stone coat that whole clay head. All right, and make a one-piece mold. And then what you do is take a heat gun and heat it up inside that clay. And you don't have to make the clay real thick. You can make the clay about that thick. You want the clay a little thicker around the neck so it holds the weight. So what you do is you pour the clay into the silicone, slosh it around. But first, remember before you do that, because you'll get freeze lines, take your heat gun and warm the inside of the silicone head real good. And the reason why you do that is you get freeze lines from hot clay when it's melted. And when you're sloshing it around, every time it stops, it creates a freeze line right there. So when the silicone is warm, it doesn't do that. So you slush cast a clay into the silicone master, then you've got a fairly thick copy of your master. Then you take stone and then stone this, and plaster mold, make a plaster mold of it. All right, and then pull out the clay of the plaster mold, and then you can put your latex inside the plaster. It's a harder process and more expensive, but the silicone's nice to have because then you can make plastic heads. You're not stuck with just doing, clay. You can make plastic heads too. If you wanted to make a real Chucky doll with your sculpture, you can put a plastic head. You can buy the plastic, and plastic's actually pretty cheap. You can make a plastic head for the doll, like a real doll is, instead of foam filling a latex. Yes, I would use silicone. I would if you would rather have a plastic head, silicone's the way to go. But you have to put it over top. Your silicone has to go over top of your clay sculpture when you finish it. And I'm going to give you the name of the stuff you want to buy, and it's from Smooth On, and it's Rebound 25. That's what you want, Rebound 25. It's expensive. You see these tubs right here, that blue tub, and there's a yellow tub. Where the hell's that yellow tub at? Oh, I might have thrown them away. Okay, well, there's a blue tub and there's a yellow tub that's the same size as that. It's a 1 gallon kit. That's almost $500. Oh, and you may have to go with just latex altogether because silicone's very expensive. It's like $500 to do it to do a silicone master. And then you got to buy the plasti paste to give yourself a hard shell over that silicone. You don't demold the silicone off the clay head until you have lip line. Yeah, it's going to come up more. I'm not done up here. The lip line's going to come up, Felix. Yeah, silicone's very expensive, but it's the kind of, as long as you're not putting stone in it, the silicone will last a long time. You're only putting clay in it, melting the clay, that silicone it'll never go bad. I'm trying to steer you in the right direction, but if you don't have the money, you really can't do much about that. That's a whole nother situation. So in your case, make your head I'm not changing that cheek line. Forget it. Felix, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing that. The lips are going to be higher than they are right now because it's not done yet. But that cheek line stays the way it is on this sculpture. Like I said, this is a little wider than that head that is in that picture. Now that picture that I just showed you right here, I have a funny feeling. No, I don't think so. No, now that, well, wait a minute. These are not, okay. These are individual pictures. All right. This is not one big picture of the whole. This is individual pictures. I have a funny feeling the reason why the head looks so narrow, because they pulled one of these, or they brought the camera up real close to it, and it was probably taken a little too close. May not be. It may be the actual shape of the sculpture. I'm not changing my sculpture to that much because you see how you can see the ears looking straight on? And you can see these ears. You can see them on both sides. Well, me trying to narrow the head, my ears literally went too far up against the head. So I'm leaving it to where it is. And that's why I'm not changing those cheek lines. Nothing's getting changed. Everything's staying the way it is. I narrowed the jawline on my sculpture. I'm just not willing to completely redo the sculpture. I'm not, because I need to get this done. It's going to look really good, and it's going to be a small mask. You're going to end up blowing this out anyway when you're wearing it. It's going to be it's narrower, but your face is going to blow it out a little bit. You know, Joe Reese, the reason why I've had trouble with it, it's not so much. I've been watching your channel too, Joe. Love your work. Tell me if I might be wrong. I might be wrong here, but tell me if you're the same guy. Did you just recently do a not Freddy, come on. Jason Goes to Hell mask? Thumbs up if that's you. Because that was absolutely amazing. Your sculpting ability is far exceeds mine. That's for sure. Yeah, it will be. See, you got to remember now, my mask, if you look at still shots, the sculpture right now looks like somebody's wearing the mask. All right, that's how my head shape is. It's not that picture that I just showed you guys. It's not that. That is very narrow. That's sitting on something. It might be because it's actually a latex mask. So it might be sitting on something and making it droop a little bit to give it more narrow look, because that's what happened to Pipe Master when he was here. He put it on a headstand that was too narrow at the top of the head, and it made the mask droop, and it didn't look great. It didn't look good at all. So yeah, there's that. That could be too, because they're definitely latex masks. You can see the eye cuts are cut out. So my sculpture is going to look. It looks more like somebody's wearing the mask. And that's what we're trying to replicate anyway. I mean, truthfully, I'm trying to replicate the screen pics. That's what I was going to go off of, but Pipe Master convinced me to stick with that mask over there, the one I just showed you. So I did. And I'm kind of glad I did, because now I've got those slants on the eye cuts perfect. Absolutely amazingly perfect. All I needed was that slight profile to really hone in on that and really get that nailed. Super happy with this. Can't wait to get this in production. The eye cuts are nice and small now. We don't have to worry about that. Making the eye cut smaller, it also brought those eyebrows up in the right position now. They are literally in the exact position, I mean exact position, as some of the still shots of the still shots in the movie. I was like, whoa, man, that looks good. That looks right on the money. Let me read some more comments. Yes, my paint job on here is absolutely sick. I think that's a really good paint job. All right, Joe, are you doing a Michael Myers mask when you do your two-part molds? Do me a favor, Joe, if you want to help a guy out, Show me your process of making a two-part mold. Do a little video and send it to my email. My email is djstyles with 3 Y's at gmail.com. It's DJSTYYYLES at gmail.com. And I would love to see your process. Felix, you have to wait a minute until I couldn't read that text fast enough. Oh, it's going to be, Pipe Master's coming to visit again in October, the beginning of October. So we're going to have him back in the house, hopefully. Might have to do it on a Sunday because I don't know if I'm going back to work Friday and Saturday or just Friday nights. Last winter it was just Friday nights, which was perfect for me with the situation that I was in, with the heart, everything that was going. But I was hoping to get 2 nights this year. But if I don't, I'm back still to just 1 night. What I'd like to do is, like, Pipe Master and me will be on Saturday night, provided that he can. You made an H5 movie mask. Okay. Well, the next time you make a mold, do me a favor, Joe. Make a video on it. And just, you don't have to put it out in the public. I'm not asking, and I won't do that to you. I would never do that to people. I wouldn't post your mold. I just need to see, even if you do still shots and text what you did here, what you did there, important points I have no problem getting the back of the head with the Michael Myers mask. I never had any problems getting the back of the head off. It's getting the front of the head off. Now you got to remember, the difference is I use hard monster clay. I don't use wet clay at all. I use hard monster clay, and when I use hard monster clay, it really doesn't want to release. And if there's any undercuts, it's really hard to get them off, get them out of the undercuts, because the undercuts lock, and he locks, and you have a hell of a time getting that sculpture off. But wet clay, shit, just pulls right off. Wet clay, I've never had a problem pulling any two-part mask. I never had a problem with that. It's always the monster whenever I'm using monster clay hard, and I don't like using anything but hard. I'm more of a carver than I am actually a sculptor. Yeah, I'll check it in a minute. Hold on. I'll be right, hold on. Let me shut this off to the side. That's the one thing, Felix, you just keep forgetting. It's deeper in there. It's deeper than what it looks. All right, it might need a little bit of carving out right in here just to give it a little bit more of a, but it's simple. I'm not, like I said, I'm not done yet. The lips still have a lot of work to be done. I'm following that mask, so those details will be there. I just have to wait and see. I have to wait until tomorrow because I'm too tired to mess with it now. Well, Protolina clay, do you use the hard or soft or medium? Yeah, I know Protolina, and their hard clay is even harder than monster clays. Better quality sculpt. It's a very nice clay. It's just more expensive. That's why I don't use that clay for my sculpturing. The Protolina clay is actually, I think it comes in gray and brown. No, I'm not doing anything like that. I didn't change those eyebrows and I'm not changing them now. Jesus, why? Just lay off. I'm not doing that. Takeoff vision, I'm getting annoyed because you keep wanting to retool this thing over, like every little, I can't do that. I'm not changing my eyebrows. I had them, this eyebrow here, I was forced to change it because I bumped the scale out just a little bit on the eye cut. All right, but I could still see exactly where that eyebrow was. And I put it in the same position. And I'm leaving it there. I'm not changing some of those things. Marissa, how you been? I am doing the flashback. This is the Custom Corpses flashback mask that's in Halloween Kills, the beginning of the movie, where they show you, now I'm still working on the lips, so don't mind that, and the chin area. We have a new person in the house. That's the money shot right there, right there. Hold on, I gotta back this out, you're seeing too much shadow. Too much shadow. Let me get this light back where it needs to be. That's the money shot right there. I have a feeling this is probably going to be the most accurate flashback mask on the market when I'm done. I still have the check. There's another check mark that's underneath of here that has to be put in there. Yeah, and I'm not changing the eyebrows, no, because then I'll tell you what ruins, shorten those eyebrows. You know what it does? It ruins this perfect eyebrow right here. That eyebrow right here at the very end is so perfect, and it follows the shape of the head. This way, everything looks, you know, you're picking on something. Oh, can you shorten this? Can you shorten that? No, because the minute you shorten something, the profile gets changed and it doesn't look right. You got to stop because you're not seeing things in three-dimensional, and that's the difference. See that profile? If you take a look at that other mask, the one I just showed you on screen, that is right on the money. It's where it's supposed to be. It's about a ½ inch above the eye cut. Look. See it? There. That's what I'm talking about. Now stop with the shortening of the eyebrow. That's not going to work. I know what I'm doing when it comes to these eyebrows. Believe me, I really do. And not so much trying to get the exact thickness right, but the contour and the shape and where it falls on the face has to be in that position. You know, when you're looking at this profile, you know, that's on the money, especially on the other side. So, I'm sorry for jumping on you about this, but you got to stop with this constantly wanting to change something, because I'm not going to keep changing things left and right every time somebody says, oh, well, we can make it just a little bit. Asylum, it's on. I'm telling you, if you look at that profile right there, and I'm going to take you, just look at this eye cut, and look how perfectly slanted this is compared to the actual sculpture. This is a latex pull from the actual mask. All right, look at that. It's identical. Even the other eye cut is right on the money. I have to make another check mark, cheek right here. I have to put that dent in mine yet. I don't have that there. I only have this one in. But that's going to be put there tomorrow. There's going to be so much done to this thing. This thing is going to be so on the money. And you see, I keep trying to point it out to you again. See the distance between the tip of that eyebrow to the corner of this here? Believe me, everything's been measured, and I use a caliper. I use a caliper there. I use that. And I have a real expensive one over here that I use once in a while too, that's right underneath the paper towels. All right. it measures microns. So I use that to really get, you know, things where they're supposed to be. So now you look at that, and it's right where it's supposed to be, that eyebrow. If anything, the eyebrow needs to be a little thinner. Latex cast, yes. I have a friend of mine that has a book that revealed the actual pull. And the reason why I know this isn't clay is because, look, the eyes are cut out. It's a latex pull. And wow, this really hit it out of the park. Having this picture here really made it so I can really hone in and perfect. Outside of my mask looking more like somebody is wearing the mask, versus the mask not being worn. That mask over there that I just showed you, it's not on anybody's head. So, you know, if it's sitting on a pedestal that's maybe a little bit thin on the underneath part of the head, up underneath, it can make the mask droop a little bit, make it look more narrow. All right, so Asylum, I know I do. I think I got it really nailed this time. I really do have it nailed. The eye cuts are the perfect size. The slant is just right. The tuck, let me show you what I'm talking about here. The tuck under on the upper eye cut in the corner. If you look at still shots of the movie Mask, you see that little tuck that goes up underneath, it goes across this way, and then it tucks in. That's in the sculpture, man. It is on the friggin' money. See that tuck? I have this thing nailed. I mean, you don't know how hard that was to get those eye cuts right. It was really difficult because you had to make the eye cut look right. The eyebrow had to look right. It had to be in the right position, and it is. It's an absolute perfect spot. It's not too short, not too long. It's in the exact spot as a screen-used mask. I mean, I don't think I can get anything this close. I'll tell you what this is equivalent to me. This is almost like drawing a perfect circle, all right? It don't happen very often, and that's why a lot of people struggle with all these masks. And I got to tell you, you know, and shout out to Takeoff Vision again, you know, with your help and all you guys help getting this to this point it did help a lot. It helped a lot. But you got to remember, I am still the one that's dealing in the 3D world. I'm not dealing with two-dimensionals like you guys are looking at pictures and going, well, this ain't quite right here. And the thing I kept forgetting in the very beginning of this process was the fact that I wasn't three-dimensional. So every time I made an adjustment this way to make it look perfect straight on, that you're seeing in 2D, it looked perfect this way. But as soon as I turned the sculpture on the side or any other angle, it didn't look right. So I was like, okay, we're battling far more on my side of the screen than you guys are on your side of the screen. I have a lot more that I have to do that you guys can't see. And you're not going to see it because most times you're seeing whatever angle you're seeing the mask in, that's what you're seeing. Like I said, you're living in a 2D world. I'm in a 3D. So yes, a lot of my art skill has to come into play in making this mask. I like to point out, it's like, okay, the eyebrows needed to be a little higher. It wasn't the eyebrows that needed to be higher, it's that the eye cuts needed to be lower. But they're the little things that you learn as you're going. And you get a better understanding as you're going on, and you're going, wow, okay, this is what's wrong. groups when nobody's head's inside of it, right? Especially a thin casted mask. All right, my mask is sculpted as though somebody is wearing it, like you're trying to sculpt the movie shots. So when I originally shaped this head, I did narrow it. I narrowed it down as much as I can without losing the side view of the ears. I'm not going any narrower than what it is. Same with the jawline. I brought the jawline in a little bit. The neckline is also in a little bit, but I am not changing anything else as far as narrowing, because the narrowing is at the point where it can't go any further without destroying the mask. Now, what do I think? I think I got to stop looking at pictures. I can't go off of I can't go off of here and then look at pictures. That's why I got interrupted. So send pictures, and you're gonna have to wait till the stream's over. I don't care how many pictures you send. At this point, I'm done. I'm almost done this thing, and I'm not going to keep changing things. And the eyebrow, on the inside eyebrow, that's what you should have said. You should have said the inside eyebrow when you sent that pic, because I thought you were talking about the outside. The outside is perfect. Perfectly aligned. You got to remember, I had the eyebrows perfect to the inside of that eye cut. But what did I just got done telling you guys? I made the eye cuts smaller. So things got out of adjustment a little bit. So I'm going to have to bring that eyebrow down back a little bit. I'm not bringing it back too dramatically, because I need it to still fall in line with the shadowing that I have here. If I bring that back too far, it's not going to look right. That one, the right side, definitely has to come back a little bit further on this side. I'll check them out, but not while I'm streaming. Remember, from now on, guys, don't even think about me jumping off of here when I'm streaming. I'm not going to do that. To look at pictures, I can't do that. It interrupts the stream sometimes. Not all the times, but sometimes. I'm tired and a little grumpy, so forgive me, guys. I'm a little wiped out. Me and Pipe Master worked on this damn thing all day today. And I really struggled with those eye cuts. I did. Because I wasn't going to walk away until they were perfect. I wanted them perfect. And like I said, everything I sculpted as though somebody was wearing the mask. Not as though it was hanging off of a armature and nobody's head was inside the mask. There's a difference. There's a huge difference. There's also a difference in the way camera angle and camera shots and whether the camera's too close or the position of a camera. Like if I take the camera and I go down this way and you look at that as a dead-on shot, you'd be totally wrong. This is the dead-on shot. I have to come up because the head is slanted. All right? My camera is literally above its head, but in order to do it, my camera is up about that high. All right, that's how high my camera is. I'm going straight across. You don't even see it in frame. But because the neck is slanted, I have to tilt my camera down to match that dead-on shot. All right, so with that being said, remember these kind of things when people are taking photographs. Like if I go too high with the photograph, then I'm looking down on the mask. All right. If I go too low, then I'm looking up on the mask. You know, same with your different angles this way versus that way. There's all those little tricks, and you have to have a keen eye not just look at the sculpture, but you also have to look at how the cameraman was shooting that picture. You have to see where was the camera at when he was taking that still shot. Was it high, low? Was it right at the nose? Was it up at the eyebrow? Was it on the top of the head, looking down on it? There's so many different things. Like if I'm looking down on top of this thing, that instantly changes the size of the eye cuts. It will change the size of the eye cuts because you're looking down and you're seeing your eye cut looking dead on looks like this, but when you turn it this way, look how much shorter it looks. You know what I'm saying? All right, yeah, but once again, I'm trying to show people 3-dimension versus 2-dimension. And that's the whole point of this conversation right now. All right, dead on, this is the eye cut width. If I move the camera as though I'm going to move my hand instead, look how short that becomes. That means I went above the head. And the further I go above the head, the shorter that cut looks. But in reality, straight on, it's that wide. So, like I said, when you're looking at pictures, I don't care what picture you send me, I don't care. You have to remember where that camera is. Now, I did see the pics. I do understand what you're talking about. You're talking about the inside cut. The eyebrow is not far enough back. I get that. And even on the right side, I think I'm going to have to readjust that. But I'm also going to look at the screen pictures. I want to see that as though somebody has a head inside of the mask. That's what I want to look at first. I was trying to, I didn't explain it too well with Pipe Master today. But the difference is I'm sculpting my mask as though somebody's head's inside the mask, which makes the head a little wider, which makes everything different. I'm not sculpting the mask as though it's sitting on a pedestal like this is right now. It makes the head narrow. You know, although I have foam in that to spread that mask apart, so it makes it a little wider looking. Yeah, I'm gonna look at it. I'll get it right. I'm not worried about that. Take all vision. I will make that adjustment. I thought you were talking about the outside of the eye cut, the eyebrow, because I know that's spot on. That is absolutely spot on. But here's what I did, and this is why I missed it. When I made the eye cut smaller, all right, I forgot to look at the upper eyebrows and the bridge of the nose. Because when I shorten those eye cuts, that changed. It forces me to change the position of the inner eyebrow. I have to spread them out a little bit, not much, probably like 1/8 of an inch, 2/16 of an inch, and I should be right close enough to where I'm happy. I don't want to make it too far apart. There's all these little elements that I forget to bring up, and since they're right at the top of my memory right now, I'm remembering all this stuff as I'm sculpting. There's so many different things that go into sculpting. You just don't. Silly question. Asylum. It's not that I don't like it. It's okay. It's not a bad sculpture. I mean, I really loved it in the beginning until I seen myself in the mask, because my head is roughly almost the same size as Pipe Master. And when I saw the pictures, I saw how much of my eye area you can see. You can see the inside of my eye, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute, this ain't working. That eye cut's too big. And when I saw those eye cuts being way too big, now somebody wearing a big mask, you're not going to notice it. Somebody wearing a small mask, you will notice it. Yeah, the eyes are a little too round too. Notice how round they are? That's not what these are. I think I was battling, the reason why I kept messing with the eye cuts so much on that sculpture, the old sculpture, is because I was trying to get those eyebrows perfect. And all I needed to do was drop those damn eye cuts down just a little bit from the top, and I would have been home run. Oh yeah, guys. It's been a long day, guys. I did a little bit. I did the hairline. We fixed the hairline tonight on camera. Scraped a little clay around the chin. Still got work to do there. Still got work to do on the lips, the lower lips especially, and the upper lips. Corner of the mouth is going to get dug out just a little bit more to create that nice shadow. No, the eyes are definitely bigger. When you wear the mask, those eyes, you can see my eyes, too much of my eye all the way around. Yeah, I'm not putting the mask on. I don't have a shirt on, so I'm kind of like, eh. My wife's like, don't go on camera with your shirt off. Come on, knock it off. She watched one of my YouTubes the other day, and I have no damn, I'm not modest a little bit. You guys know that already. So, but she's like, knock it, she kind of jumped on me a little bit about it. Wear a damn shirt. So, now on I wear a shirt. Yeah, the mouth is small too, so that's definitely getting fixed. No, Joe, I wouldn't do that with the screen. No, yeah, they used it on the 4 and 5 mask, but they didn't do that with any other mask that I'm aware of. I know it wasn't done in Halloween 1 or 2 or the new series. They never put black fishnet inside the eye cuts. And I would never do that to one of my masks. It looks too cheesy. Looks too cheesy. But I know that they did that to I think it was 4 and 5. They put black liner inside, like a mesh inside the eye cuts, to keep people from seeing the eyes. I get it, but I would never, I don't know. If you sculpt the mask right, see, that's the problem with Halloween 4 and 5. That mask, I'm going to say it, I know you might love that mask. I hate those masks. And that's just my own personal opinion of them. The reason why I love this mask so much is because the scowl comes out, and when your eyes are inside this mask, it's sunk back in the mask. So you can't really see somebody's eyes real well, especially in low light. You can't see anybody's eyes. Now, if those eye cuts are flush from upper to lower, then yeah, you're going to see everybody's eyes, like literally front and center on the mask. It's going to really pop. And believe me, that's the difference between a William Shatner and any other screen mask that's been used. So the William Shatner is the way to go. I think it gives it the most evil look. It definitely gives it the look that I like. That's just my personal opinion. So anyway, guys, over here I got the fan blowing on it for 2.5 days now. This is the Night Creeper altered and fixed because the eye cut didn't turn out over here. See how big that eye cut is on the right? Looking at the screen, the right eye cut. Whew, way too big. And I couldn't do anything about it. So I remolded, I poured up some more, and that, yeah, I'm right. That's the night creeper mold back there. I poured up another clay head of the night creeper. I fixed the eye cut to fix it. I molded it about 2 days ago, 3 days ago, might be the third day. But I'm going to put latex in that tomorrow, and then I'm going to foam fill it to make the small night creeper. The finished night creeper. Well, it's movie accurate, Joe Reese. It's movie accurate, I'll give you that, because that's what they did to those masks. I don't know if they did it in 4 and 5, or just 4, or just 5, or both movies. I don't know. I'm not an expert on 4 and 5. I can't even begin to tell you. You know, I like the movies. I do like the movies, 4 and 5, Halloween 4 and 5. I just hated the mask because I'm a William Shatner, loved that original mask. Nothing ever topped it for me. You know, you got to remember, I saw Halloween. I'm 62 years old. I saw Halloween in the theater at 16 years old. And, man, it was an experience because I was with 2 females that sat on each side of me, and boy, that was a mistake. I needed to get out of that seat. But I stayed there, and they dug their nails into my arms all night long. Every time he was watching them, or, you know, it scared the shit out of them. And I left the theater with bleeding arms, and they were my cousins, my older cousins. I have older cousins, not by many years. Cheryl and Ann were with me that night, and we saw it on October 30th, 1978. Now tell me that doesn't ring a bell. That was the night that we actually saw the movie. And it was so weird when Thunder and Lightning and Dr. Loomis, just before he comes into, and you know, where they're showing the scene inside the car and the thunder and lightning and the rain, it says October 30th. And we're going, and how I remember that is because I'm going, oh, cool, tonight, you know, and I'm just like, you know, I was excited. I'm like, damn, that's going on. That's happening right now as we speak. I don't know. It's a memory that I'll never forget. It's a great movie. Great to experience it in the theater back in those days, because we didn't have all this shit that we have today, like, you know, phones, iPhones, and you can put any movie on you want anytime. You know, I just think we're desensitized to the point where nothing scares us, nothing's really thrilling anymore. You know, it's sad, but we've been oversaturated. Well, see, and that's exactly it, guys. I'm going to say that, Joe Reese. The reason why it's the most memorable to you is because of how old you were when you saw it, and it was probably the first movie you saw of Michael Myers. I'll bet that was the first time you seen Michael Myers altogether. So that mask is always going to be scary to you, and you're always going to like it. You're always going to love it. You're going to choose that mask over anybody else's. So it's not about, I think it has a lot to do with how you seen this movie, when you saw this movie. And I'll tell you another little quick story. Back in 75, 76, I forget which year it was. No, I think it was 76. I worked in a place on the boardwalk called the Fun Shop. Well, I was too young to work. I just got my working papers, but it was a fun shop. It was a magic shop. And they used to sell latex masks, and most of their masks, all they sold was Don Post. Don Post was the only mask maker out there that made latex masks. So, of course, we had Captain Kirk, and we had Leonard Nimoy, Spock masks. To this day, I was putting those masks away and putting out on the shelves. I handled more Captain Kirk masks and more Spock masks than probably anybody that is alive today. Let's just say that. Because I was stocking them, pulling them out, putting them up on display. And to this day, I regret never grabbing some of those Captain Kirk masks because of what happened in Halloween. By the time Halloween 78 came out, the Fun Shop no longer carried that mask. They stopped carrying Spock and Captain Kirk. And I was like, I went up there to the owner because it was a new owner. And I said, you don't understand, I worked here 1976 and with the old owners, and I'm trying to get that Captain Kirk mask. And he's like, because Halloween, you and 1,000 other people. That's exactly what he said to me. He says, I can't get that mask now if I wanted to, because now I have to get another distributor, blah, 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 and so on and so forth. But I was 14 when I worked in that shop. I had to think about that because I couldn't remember what year it was. But I remember now it was the bicentennial year, 1976. Night Creeper Ends. Yes, that's going to be the name of the Night Creeper Ends mask. It's actually going to be Night Creeper Ends. And then I'm going to do a concept ends of my Night Creeper along with this. This is going to be turned into the 2018, the Kills, and the Ends mask, and a concept Ends mask. The way I think it should have been. Or could have been. I don't say should have been. Could have been. So. Yeah, what is your favorite kill in Halloween 5? I like the ambulance. No, that was Halloween 4. Halloween 4. I get those two confused, so if I get them confused, straighten me out, guys. Halloween 4 was the ambulance. I liked the way he killed those guys in the ambulance. That was cool. Halloween 5, I'm trying to remember. I don't remember. Mention some kills. Maybe I'll watch that tonight. Did any of you guys watch The Devil's Reign? How many of you guys watched The Devil's Reign? How many of you guys watched Race with the Devil? Asylum, Joe Reese, Asylum wants to know, in Halloween 5, what was your favorite kill? Because Joe Reese might be sculpting, he might be doing something while he's, he got the video up and he's not looking at the camera, so, he's not looking at the picture. Please, Takeoff Vision, you got to watch Devil's Reign. Do you have, what did I watch it on last night? I watched it the other night just to, because I was going to ask questions, but some of you guys didn't watch it, so I didn't want to blow it for you. I can tell you this, William Shatner's in it. And I think William Shatner, I think they got the idea. I think he got the concept of William Shatner's mask, the Captain Kirk mask, with the eyes cut out. And painting the mask white was actually what John Carpenter wanted. But he wanted a featureless face. And I think when Tommy Lee Wallace went into that store and saw the Captain Kirk, I think in his head, he saw that image in the movie The Devil's Reign with William Shatner not having any eyes. And it is badass. And his eyes are blackened out. And you have to see it. And I think that's where he said, oh, you know what? That mask will work, because I remember The Devil's Reign. I don't know if it's true. I don't know. I'm only speculating. Because The Devil's Reign came out in 1975. I did check that. It was 1975. And Halloween was 1978. And they were shooting it in 77. So Devil's Reign was fresh on everybody's mind at that point. And I think that that's a low-budget movie. But there's some great actors in that movie. Tom Skerritt is in this movie. The guy that's in Aliens, the captain of the alien ship, the first Alien movie, the guy that played the captain of the ship, that's Tom Skerritt. He's in this. William Shatner, Eddie Arnold. He was the guy that played in Green Acres. If you ever saw that TV show, Green Acres is a place to be. All right. He was the guy that was, he ran the farm. He was the owner of the farm. Uh, who else is? Oh, Ernest Borgnine. Have you ever saw the original? Uh, you know what? Airwolf. If you guys know what Airwolf is, do you guys ever see that TV show? The old TV show Airwolf, or the original Poseidon Adventure. He was the cop that was married to Linda. Linda, my poor Linda, she died. She's dead because of you. At the end of the movie, where she fell off the upside down catwalk. So that was Ernest Borgnine. Funky old man, but Ernest Borgnine played the devil, and man, he played him really good. And a very interesting spin to how he played the devil, because I imagine the devil being that way. If you actually watch the way he plays that role in The Devil's Reign, I can imagine the devil being that always testing you, coming across like, yes, and very, what's the right word? I can't think of the word. It's an expression. Oh, God, I can't think of it. But kind of manipulative, very manipulative. You have to watch the movie. William Shatner, he was good in it. He was a good actor in it. Now, you guys that follow religion, you'll find it very, especially if you guys are, heavily more religious than definitely me. You will find that movie very, you'll like it, believe it or not, even though it's about the devil, but you'll like the way William Shatner plays his role as more of a religious, Bible-fearing kind of guy. So it's a good watch. It's a really good watch. Now, Race with the Devil, that came out the same year, 75. All right. I thought that they were out the same year because I remember sneaking, watching it on the home box office, HBO, when the parents weren't home. And in 75, I was 13 years old. We weren't allowed to watch rated R movies, but on home box, you got to see rated R movies, uncut. So we would watch Race with the Devil back to back. They would play those two movies back to back all the time on HBO. And Saturday nights, my parents would go out. Man, we'd take the bullet off the back of that HBO box. They didn't think we knew about it, but we knew what they did to block the movie, so we unscrewed that bullet, and we were able to watch rated R movies. Anyway, so we're watching Race. It always came on. Race with the Devil came on first, and then The Devil's Reign came on second because of the gore that was in. I might be wrong. I don't remember. I just know that both of those movies played back to back. And Race with the Devil was actually really cool. It was an action-packed movie. A lot of action, a lot of car driving, a lot of stunt driving. Cars bang them up, crashing. You're going to see a lot of that in this movie. Hence the name Race with the Devil. Now, this isn't on a racetrack. This isn't a race car movie. This is people in a trailer, an RV, a big RV, a long RV. My phone's about to die. I got 10%, so I'm going to make this quick. So it's about these people riding. They witness something, and I'm not going to tell you. I'm just telling you the premise of the movie. They witness something, and these devil worshippers chase them all over the countryside, all over the country, as far as they were driving. I don't know how far, but I think they were in Texas, and they went to Denver. So the people were following. They chased them all over the country, and every town that they stopped in, it was creepy because you didn't know who the devil worshippers were, but you could see the eyes on them. You could see people watching them, and you didn't know Are these people devil worshippers too? Are they part of this thing? You know, it was cool. It was cool. You have to watch it. Loretta Swit. Have you ever watched the TV show MASH? I can't remember what her name was, but she was the blonde older woman that played the nurse in MASH. Really good. She was a good actress. And the other girl. And now I can't think of the other guy's name, but I know that. Just look up Race with the Devil. That's another good movie. That's really good. If you like more action, you're gonna like that movie better. You like more scary, more creepy. Not so much scary, but creepy, especially today's standards. It's a little disturbing and creepy. The Devil's Reign. So, with that being said, guys, my phone's about to die and I got to put it on the charger. But thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for sharing my content. And if you haven't done any of those things, please do it for me, all right? Please. And I'll see you on the video tomorrow night. I'll show you where I'm at with this beautiful sculpture. We should be really, 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 really close to the finish line by tomorrow night. I will take off vision. I'll check out the pics before I get settled in to watch a movie. And I'll text you back. Well, peace, everybody. Have a good night. And I'll see you on the next video. I'm trying to see how many people that I missed. I'm going to have to look back on this. Pipe Master was on. I think he bounced a while back. Marissa, I don't know if you're still with us, but how you doing tonight? And anyway, I'm going to say goodnight, guys. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.